Well, we had a little bit of connection issues, and unfortunately we've lost our live stream, so we're going to just record this and upload it later. At least we know we'll have everything we need, and not have to worry about fighting that connection. We were able to reconnect once, but after that second little disconnect, we were unable to get the stream going again. So instead of messing with that, we're just going to record. And let me tell you about if you're just jumping in here, kind of where we're at and what we're doing. This is the Blue Spruce Route. We're flying from North America to France, and it's a North Atlantic route that takes you up through Canada, Greenland, Iceland, into Scotland and England, and then on the 5th we're going to be making our trip across the English Channel to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And I'm looking out here. We may need to make a contact here in just a second. We've actually had approach. This is Manchester, and I think we're going to be outside. The hope was, I don't have the greatest charts. I mean, I've got the Navigraph charts, but still not super confident with my ability to read those. But I think we've managed to stay outside of the Manchester area. The London area, we're trying to stay out of that as well, and just kind of sneak through, basically kind of right through here and into, we'll probably be having to contact London Control because we're going to end up right in here. But we'll stay away from the big airfield, Class Bravo, Class Charlie airspaces, and just finish our route up without too much difficulty. The route we're flying here, if you weren't a part of the live stream, the failed live stream, we started out here in Prestwick and headed down south, picked up the New Galloway NDB, just crossed over the Barrow on the Island airfield. Now we're heading south towards Wallasey, the Woodvale Airport, tracking that 114.1 radial inbound. From there, we'll head a little further south to Welshpool, kind of make a little bit of a left-hand easterly turn to Shobden, and up here to Birmingham. We'll probably need to get a little bit of permission to get in close to this airspace, down to Barkway, and then it's just a little short northeasterly hop up to Duxford. Looks a little bit zigzaggy, but it's VFR, so we're okay to do that. Part of the reason we explained that we're doing it this way is to stay away from the larger airspaces, but the other reason is kind of an exciting one. We actually found some VORs that were simulated outside of the United States with this aircraft, and I thought that maybe that was just not. I just thought maybe that was not simulated. So we were happy to find a few. So especially that last part of the route there, we picked those intentionally so that we could stay on course and make sure we're getting where we needed to get. So far we've already had kind of the three big navigational approaches that you can have without necessarily having the modern GPS and all that good stuff. We've flown towards an NDB, and actually 2 NDBs, and we've hit both of those, and that's helped out a bunch. And we just did a little bit, a 71 nautical mile over the water dead reckoning with drift calculations, and did fairly well there. We hit our spot, got pretty close to our airfield. We did have a little bit of NDB help there, probably for the last 15 miles or so. And now we're using VOR navigation, so it's that slant alpha equipment, getting its work out. But we're here about 18 miles away. We'll be tracking south. We'll need to use this VOR because my notes tell me that while the Wallasey VOR does work, the next VOR that we're heading towards, the Welsh Pool, was not active, but we can we can track the VOR that we're going to cross over here in just a minute. We can track that outbound basically all the way to where we're heading, so that shouldn't be a problem. We'll go ahead and put in, we need a 182 heading. How much time do I have left? 15 miles. I have plenty of time. Let me show you, just in case you're popping in here for the first time. So I need a 182 heading. This is the E6B online drift calculator tool. It's worked pretty well for us so far. I'm looking at our current conditions here, and it's a little bit of a guesstimate, and here's why. We had filed actually 3,500 so that we could use this altitude data right here, 263 and 24, but because of the weather we haven't been able to get to 3,500. In fact, we're at 1,000 now. I'm going to get us climbing up to 1,500 because I think we can get a little bit higher up. But so we're still using this 3,000 foot altitude information, but it's not. It could be a little different at 1,500. You never know. So that affects the accuracy of our heading. But it's all that we have, and we're going to go with it. So right now, as I'm looking inside the cockpit, we're still at about 135 airspeed. Our wind direction at 3,000 is going to be 263 and 24. So that means that our heading we need is 192, and so that will be what we have as a reference when we make our next leg. Now we're going to use the outbound VOR information will be more accurate information, so we'll use that as long as we can. But then at a certain point, if for whatever reason we lose that VOR signal, we'll have this heading as a backup, and that should get us to where we need to go. This is the trickiest airfield to find. It's basically an airport in the hills. And the one thing that does help with this, even though the navigational part, the heading part of the VOR doesn't work, the DME part, strangely enough, does. So we'll at least know how close we're getting, and that again it's just all different pieces of the puzzle that fit together nicely and get you where you need to go in a World War II era aircraft. A lot of fun, ton of fun. Okay, active sky is telling me that we're breaking up a little bit in terms of weather, and we have a layer at 2,800, a broken layer at 2,800, so we're not going to be able to get quite back up to 3,500, which was our filed altitude, but at least we'll get a little closer, and that'll help us with our drift calculations. As I take a peek here, it looks like we're skirting the Liverpool airspace, but I think we're clear of that. And yeah, just checking my Navigraph cloud charts. I think we're okay. I think we're far enough to the west. We're not going to be causing them any difficulties. And low enough too. A lot of times you can fly under an airspace and be okay, especially if you're out, 15, 20 miles away. Miles away, we're just about getting ready to turn here. Might be over the top of the airfield, might not be able to see. I wasn't paying attention. Should have been out here. I think we're probably right over the top of it. We'll track that outbound radial. We're going to go ahead. So we have it set. It'll be ready to go. And that will track our distance away. We'll go ahead and put in our next VOR frequency, 115.905. I'm looking at the charts here. 115.905. So we will not have the directional bearings here. We don't know what heading we're going per se, but we have that. And oh boy, yeah, I forgot. If you leave the nav lock on, it's going to try to fly circles around the WPL VOR. We don't want that. We want to stay on this track though. Yeah, okay. Back on the outbound. We want to stay on this track and as far as we can stay on that 45 nautical miles or so. This is not going to give us any kind of helpful information, but this will. So we've slid right, of course, probably because we started a half circle. So we're going to go ahead and adjust just a little bit here. The intended course is 182. We've climbed to 2,500, so let me take a look at my wind data and let's see if we've got some calculations that we need to switch here. Yeah, so 2,500 is a little closer to 3,000, where the wind is 264 and 22. Our airspeed 140 almost, and so it's telling me I need a heading of 191, but the VOR is telling me no, you need to kind of continue to head to your right just a little bit. Wind is off our right hand side, so it should gently push us back onto our course here. I think we're going to just stick with, can't quite tell if that guy is moving in or not. We're going to give it just a little bit here, maybe a couple of minutes. Should be about 19 minutes or so, is depending on, like our true airspeed right now, our ground speed I should say is 135. So super fast calculations here. Let's just see how It's a 46 nautical mile journey. Going 135 on the ground speed. Yeah, so about a 20-minute leg is what I'm calculating. And you know, it's been at least a minute since we went past our VOR. Tracking generally where we need to be. Our drift calculator is telling us we need to be 191, but our outbound VOR radial is telling us we need to be more like 187. Let's just see how it's going. Looking out ahead of us here, a few hills. I'm happy we were able to climb, because that does become an issue. Trying to get a few terrain readings. Yeah, a little further to the west over there, we actually need around 4,000 foot for clearance. I think I'm going to go ahead and nudge it up to 3,000. Let's see what the visibility is like. We may end up at 3,500 before it's all said and done. Who knows? Weather is affecting my frame rates, no question about it. Alright, well, we've still managed to maintain a fairly good outbound course. We're 33 nautical miles away from where we need to be. We will be making that eastern left-hand turn here to approximately 161. As soon as we hit the Welsh Pool Airport, turning a little bit more to the southeast to Shopton. Now Shopton is back to a DME, and according to my notes, DME, I keep saying that, it's an NDB, and according to my notes, the MDB does not work at Shopton, so we're going to have to do something similar to what we're doing here, and which is measure an outbound VOR, but because this heading isn't active in this VOR, it's going to be a little bit more of a little bit more difficult. So it's critical that we find this airport that we're inbound to right now, 30 miles out. It's critical that we hit Welsh Pool, because this is dead reckoning at its finest. We'll be trying to overfly that as closely as we can for 25 nautical miles. All we will have is the drift indicator and timer to figure out about when we should get to our airfield after that, which is Shopton. So yeah, that'll be a challenging leg. It'll be a fun leg. I think I can give you a visual here. We're clear of the terrain. Let me just pop you over to what I'm talking about. So we're inbound here. This is Welsh Pool. You know, we're up here somewhere, and we know how far away we are, but we don't have. I guess I could put in the NDB just to double check. I don't remember it working though. Jumped in the cockpit here, and I'm gonna enter that 323. If it comes alive, hey, we'll take that, because that'll help us. That'll help us track into Welsh Pool, but. When we find that airfield, we're going to be going with a visual reference here from Welsh Pool down to Shopton, so we'll know that that's 25 nautical miles. Nothing down here will give us an indication if we're on the right track or not. So you know, we're just going to have to again rely on our drift calculator. We're going to have to take some readings on wind speed and all that good stuff, and we're going to have to use where we headed here from Welsh Pool. So now, as I say that, I am not 100% certain. I don't think anything has come alive here. I don't think so. I thought maybe I saw it spinning around, and it might tell me where we're going. We're using this right now, the outbound from 114.1. We've been just a little bit right, of course. We're trying ever so gently to kind of bump it a degree at a time, just to see if we can get lined up. Right now, this information contradicts our drift calculator quite a bit. Right now, our drift calculator, let me take some new readings here, put some new numbers in. Our airspeed 140 still, our wind direction 267, speed is 20. Yeah, that's still telling us that we should be more like about 1. Yeah, that's a little closer. So the radial that we're trying to find was the 182, and right now it's telling us that we should really be flying about 190, which is, I guess it's only 4 degrees off of our actual heading. So the closer we get down to Welsh Pool, the more accurate it looks like it's, or the more the numbers are going to agree, I should say. miles away, and why don't we talk a little bit about some of the resources that we came across this week. Some big time navigational resources, some big time navigational questions were answered this week, and kind of inadvertently, actually. I don't know if you follow the Mikey McBrien's Plane Savers, but they actually had an aircraft come in that we talked about. We featured on our last stream, the Tabitha May, which is the guys from PMDG. They've restored their own DC-3, and they're flying it as well to, I mean, this same type of route. I don't know if they're exactly the same as us, but they're flying over to Normandy, and they departed earlier this week, and one of their stops was in Montreal at the airfield where Plane Savers is restoring their C-47/DC-3. So one of the episodes there I've linked in the comments, or the information below the video. You can check it out. But in one of the sections of the video, one of the parts of the video, they actually went up and took a look at the cockpit, and just, it was a really interesting look at what a modern DC-3/C-47 looks like. And trust me, it was very few of these old gauges. There was I think the GNS 530 or 750, or one of them might have even had a G1000 in it. I don't know, but they're all glass, and so they have the ability to fly, really any approach, any departure, any IFR type of route that you would want to fly. So that was a big question I had heading in, and if you watch any of the earlier streams, you'll hear me talk about that, about the discussion between how authentic can you be with with simulating flight like I'm trying to do, by trying to honor the navigation techniques that those pilots used back in the 40s, versus what does that look like now for those guys that have restored their aircraft and are making the same trip. So it was cool to see, like I say, see what the modern, that Tabitha May cockpit looked like, and that's one of the videos that I showed you. Another one that I have linked is the group that actually were flying the route that they're flying, the Blue Spruce Route. Their group is called DAX over Normandy. Of course, these planes used to be known as Dakotas, or still are, I guess. The Canadian Air Force called them Dakotas. And hey, 7 miles away, and I see an airfield, ladies and gentlemen. I think that may be our airfield. Hey, the cool thing about this is I actually think our NDB was pointing us in the right direction here. I think it came alive toward the end, so we're going to go, because it's important that we get right over this airfield. We're going to break off of our VOR course and head right towards the airport. So anyway, let me finish the story about the DAX over Normandy. So that group, it has quite a few C-47s that are making their way over for the trip on the flight across to Cape Carpiquet on the 5th of June. But they also departed this week, and I don't know, I don't have any idea of how many different groups are going over. All I know is the last count that they were thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 37 C-47/DC-3s were going to be making that trip on June the 5th. So that's pretty cool. We're going to count ourselves in that group, even though we'll be in the virtual skies. But that's when we plan on making that flight, is on the 5th of June. again, we had kind of carved out 0200 Zulu as the time for our flights, but life changes, and for us, we're not sure exactly when we're going to make that flight. We just know that we have the 5th set aside to make it, and we would love to have anyone join us. I know there was a group that 2 weeks ago made the flight from Duxford over to Cape Carpentay, so there are guys out there that are interested in that type of thing, and so yeah, if you want to join us, look at that cool little airport. That's definitely one of the ones in the UK 2000. But anyway, if you're interested, we'd love to have you, and I'll let you know. I'll try to get the word out as far as when I'm going. But if you can't join us, I understand. I hope you can tune in and watch and see how we do in our flight. Let's see, we've got to get ready here. Now we're going to be going so we'll have this DME will be working for us, so we're going to go ahead 115.905. Take the long way around here to get to 905. Alright, so we'll measure the distance away, and we had calculated before we're supposed to be heading on a 161 course with our wind at 267 is now 270 at 18, and our airspeed's still at 170, so we need about a 168 course to head where we need to go. Set that. We don't need a timer because we know that we're going to be tracking it outbound for 25 nautical miles. So we're just going to watch that outbound DME count up. We're clear of terrain. We've got all kinds of weather going on around us here that hopefully won't mess us up too bad. And I'm happy we've been able to get ourselves up to 3,000. So we're pretty close. In fact, I think we're going to go up to let's go up to 3,500 just to see what the oh boy, that was a big lightning strike, holy cow. Just so we can say, we'll get up there just so we can say we got up there one time. Man, this is crazy. Awesome. Better hop outside and take a look. Okay, we can't gawk around too long because we do have to do some calculations here and make sure we stay on course. We're going to go ahead and take another reading here. Our altitude information. Winds now 272 at 17. Entering that into the drift calculator. Our current airspeed as we slowed down to about 130. So a 168 heading, which is what we're still on. So that's cool. That works. We will continue to follow that. You know, we've had some pretty good luck here with our NDBs. I'm going to just plug it in. Let's see what happens. 426. And I'm not making this up. Hey, there we go. These were not working last night when I tested out this flight. So to have them working right now is pretty dang awesome. Okay, well that's telling me here that I really should be heading a little bit more towards like a 152 or so heading. So let's trust our instruments here. They've led us this far without leading us astray. In a thunderstorm, the winds can be all over the place, so you don't know. We're at 3,500 finally. The wind data that we're taking is actually from 3,000, so within that 500 feet there could be enough of a difference. It might be pushing us where we don't want to go, so we're going to go ahead and adjust. NDB data is more accurate than dead reckoning data. VOR data is more accurate than NDB data. GPS data is more accurate than VOR data. It's just kind of a hierarchy. Of course, we're not using the GPS today, but we'll take the NDB. Our outbound DME is telling us we're just about 16 nautical miles away. The leg itself was 25 nautical miles. After that, we're heading more east, actually a little northeast, about a 082 heading to the Honolulu VOR, which is actually near the Birmingham airfield, which will be our first little brush with, I think it's Class Charlie. I'm gonna have to go take a peek, but we may have to make our first contact here with ATC. Pretty happy with our course right now, though. Thank you, NDB. So while we're bouncing around towards Shopton, I'm going to just take a quick look at the charts here around Birmingham and just see what that airspace looks like. Echo Golf, Bravo, Bravo. not 100% sure what class of airport that is. The Jeppesen charts really don't do it justice. I mean, I'm sure the information is there. There's another one of those UK 2000 VFR airports. And even SkyVector doesn't really show what it is per se. It does show that it's controlled from 1,500, no, 15,000 up to 1,500 up to 4,000. So we're going to be within that. We're going to be within that range here shortly. So we're going to need to plan accordingly. Okay, hey, here we go. We're just about to 25 nautical miles. Should have had this already put in here. 113.65. That's our next VOR. And let's go ahead. We're going to turn that direction roughly about 82. Get ourselves heading that way, and then we'll just lock on to the VOR with our nav lock. Okay. So to finish the story about the Dax over Normandy crew, I did mention that they also departed, and I put a link to that story down below, but I also put a little Dax over Normandy promo, which is kind of fun to watch. The guy that they interview in the oh geez, I don't remember which one actually was. Is one of the guys that had emailed me back with some information, so very appreciative of that guy, and it was just cool to hear from one of the pilots that's actually making the trip, has been involved in it the whole way, and so that was pretty cool. Hope those guys do a good job and have fun. You know, those planes are now state of the art. They're better than new, basically, and you know, they'll get them where they need to go. But I do wish them the best. It's going to be fun to watch their progress. All right, we're hitting some more kind of cloud layer. What's my active sky telling me here? Broken at 3,100. Yeah, that's what we're seeing. A few at 2,500. Let's descend back down to 3,000. Let's see what it looks like. This is a leg where we can afford a little bit less visibility. We could actually pick up an IFR route from here because we have enough. I mean, every VOR from here on out works. So if we had to, we could pick up IFR. Batastic. So one thing about Batastic, let me show you kind of what I'm nervous about. So here we are. Here is the Manchester approach, you know, roughly the circle. Here's Birmingham. Here's kind of roughly the London center, London control. But this is not always the most accurate border. And so what I worry about is if they actually control kind of more even out here, that we might need to be making contact a little bit sooner. I hate to wait for a contact me to beep up on my V-pilot. I guess we could do that if we needed to. I want to make sure we had a little bit of a snafu actually on departure. We taxied from the terminal out to the runway, and I didn't realize, but I hadn't actually connected on my V-Pilot. I had everything loaded in, but I forgot to connect, and so we really quickly connected, and we actually, so then it looked like we spawned on the runway, and there was actually another aircraft that was taxiing out at the same time, and he was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? What are your intentions?" So I had to explain to him that yeah, we screwed up on that. We didn't connect, and we taxied out there, and I thought there was nobody around because I hadn't connected to VATSIM yet. And when I did, I found out there was somebody there. So that was a mistake on our part. But the DAX over Normandy stuff will be out there. I think the only other thing that I have linked is information about the active NDBs in the United Kingdom, and they're getting fewer and farther between. I hope you have a chance at some point in time in the flight sim world to get out and fly those and use those, because you know, I think they're slowly being phased out, and they're pretty soon going to just become part of avionic history. And if you can say, "Hey, yeah, I knew how to use those," that's a pretty cool thing. Closing in 33 nautical miles. Oops, we're actually counting away, sorry. 29. We were counting away from our last VOR instead of towards our next one. But we're getting close again. After we hit the Honolulu VOR, which is near Birmingham, we turn to our last VOR, which is Barkaway, and then from Barkaway we're just south of Duxford, so we'll make a left-hand turn. We'll head towards the Duxford airfield, and we'll decide what approach we need to fly. Duxford has a runway that's 6 2/4, so you know, we'll just kind of see what the wind tells us. Two nautical miles. Inbound to Birmingham, the Honolulu VOR. 1365. Maintained in 2,500. We did make it to our filed altitude once for about 10 minutes, I think. But otherwise, the weather has been in fairly consistently. Quite a bit of rain early on out of Prestwick, and then just came through a pretty good thunderstorm, actually. A lot of lightning. Interestingly enough, the Navigraph cloud charts don't have Duxford Echo Golf Sierra Uniform as one of their airports. Strange. So the only information that I can find is actually from SkyVector, and it's fairly limited. Gives you a rough idea of what we're looking at here. We've got an elevation of 126 feet. We have there's information 122.07. 4,000, well, almost 5,000 foot runway, and it's a 6 right and 2-4 left, or a 6 left and 2-4 right. I haven't seen I've only seen one runway 6 and one runway 2-4, to be honest with you. This one here is quite a bit shorter, maybe a little turf runway right next to the regular, or to the bigger runway. Not sure. Maybe we'll pay a little closer attention when we approach this time. But so yeah, I mean, that's enough. You know enough to kind of figure out what you need. The heading is pretty much 060 and 240, so that kind of helps. But yeah, a little surprised that Navigraph doesn't have that. The Jeppesen charts don't have that. So I don't know what that means exactly. I know some of these old airfields, they no longer exist. I know one of the ones that's in the Berlin airlift, which is a pretty popular route to fly, definitely a popular route to sim, and one we may end up doing after we cross the English Channel here on the 5th. But one of those airfields has been decommissioned, and I know that the groups that have restored these planes, like the Dax over Normandy guys, they're wanting to go up and fly that Berlin airlift route, and they're hoping that one of the airfields that was closed will be temporarily reopened, just for the 75th anniversary. Well, it's not. I think it must be the 75th anniversary of the Berlin airdrops too, but I don't know if they're going to be able to swing that. But it's just interesting that some of those old airfields that were used in World War II are no longer in service. Just shows the importance of history and making flights like those guys are making. Just to not forget, to be able to take the aircraft around to people. They do lots and lots of air shows, and it's it's a labor of love. It's all money that they have to raise themselves, and it's an expensive hobby, to say the least. But it's pretty cool to be able to see, and some people actually get to go up in flights and to be able to experience what it's like to fly in one of these things. That's pretty amazing. we're getting our heading set for our leg that will take us down towards Duxford. We're getting close, getting close. Yeah, we're heading to Barkway, and we'll have a tailwind, almost a direct tailwind. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, it'll be pretty close actually. Wind's 290 and our course is going to be 109, so it's for the most part a tailwind. 5 nautical miles. We should be seeing an airfield here real soon. How far is 12 o'clock? Once we do, we will punch in that heading. We'll enter our frequency for Barkway 116.25. Go ahead and put this guy in 1365 just so we can track the outbound in case we need to for a little while. We're going to be, like I said, at 109. Let's get that adjustment made. Right about there. Let's see, where's our airfield? Where are you? Wait a second, maybe this is not. Oh no, this is, sorry, this is Birmingham. Yeah, over there. Okay, cool, Birmingham. I did not get a contact me from approach, so the only thing I can think of is that we're below his airspace. And again, I'm just going off of what. Yeah, I think we may be screwed up because it does say that we should have contacted, because he controls from the surface to 4,500. So that's our mistake. Birmingham control, if you're watching this, who is it? Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's our mistake. We should have definitely contacted you, and we just did not. This is Coventry Field here, another one of those that's part of that UK scenery pack. But let's pay attention here. Yep, there we go. Alright, we're over the top, so heading mode is enacted, and down we go to Barkway 116.25. Slightly left of course. No, we're not, because we have to make this go to 109. I think that's going to probably be pretty close once we get there. Yep, it is. Engage the autopilot. And 65 nautical miles. Like I say, when we get within about 5 miles of the Barkway VOR, we'll probably start to get a visual on the Duxford, and then we can take a second to figure out what our approach is going to look like. Let's look at the weather together here. As you can see, Duxford right now 70 degrees, nice day, partly cloudy as it's been all day. Surface winds 300 at 13, so it looks like we're going to be taking that runway 24 approach. We do have almost 10 statute miles of visibility. We've got some scattered clouds at 8,000. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, not seeing any precipitation, so that's good to hear. Good to know. Jump back over in the cockpit here. It looks like we are tracking the inbound and the outbound very well. 5 miles, almost 6 miles away now. 61 to go. Definitely, it looks like within the London airspace. I'm going to pop it over there just for some ATC.
Reykjavik, located from the QQ Narsarsuaq.
Thomas Cook 43 November, correct. Welcome down to second correction, first left, then taxi standard choice, bye bye.
Hotel Conference 14 Reykjavik, closest normal.
Well in 18 Mike Quebec, turn left. Well in 18 Mike Quebec, turn left heading 275.
Left heading 275, well in 18 Mike Quebec.
Station calling, trying to check in there, pass your message again.
Good evening, Olivia Charles, Speedbird 820 with you, passing 2,550.
Speedbird 820 London, School Connect, climb flight level 150.
Roger, climb flight level 150, Speedbird 820.
Shamrock 26 Mike, climb flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240, Shamrock 26 Mike.
Well in 18 Mike Quebec, descend flight level 140.
140, well in 18 Mike Quebec.
Shamrock 26 Mike, nothing further from me, Unicom 1228, bye bye.
Unicom 122, decimal, bye bye, Shamrock 26 Mike.
Well in 18 Mike Quebec, left turn again, heading 265.
265, well in 18 Mike Quebec.
Well in 18 Mike Quebec, contact Delta Director 126.825, bye bye.
2632, well in 18 Mike Quebec, hasta la vista.
And Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet London.
Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet, go ahead.
Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet, just at the moment monitor 132.6, 132.6. I'm just going to change frequency to a larger sector, so 1326 for the moment.
132.6,
Well in 18 Mike Quebec, you're over to Gatwick Director 126.825.
Yes, so getting floating .bis to my zone. I can't see him.
and all spatial stations still on the frequency apart from the Vueling. Just monitor 132.6 for the moment.
Alright, I love those guys over here. Awesome controllers. I get over to Gatwick every now and again. One of my favorite places to fly. Don't get over here nearly enough. Kind of starting to peek out here just in case we pick up some early indications. I know we're a long way away. We're still 45 miles or so away. Well, here comes center again. I'll be quiet and just let you listen to some fantastic control in here. We'll check in as we're getting closer to Duxford.
Signal 820, route direct Somva, climb flight level 270.
Speedbird 820, say again.
Signal 820, for some reason every controller in the UK just got disconnected then, but oh well, route direct Somva, climb flight level 270.
Roger, the redirect Somva and climb flight level 270, Speedbird 820.
Subject 5 Bravo Juliet, descend flight level 140.
Flight level 140, subject.
Hello, Control, good evening. Tom Jet 65 Golf for you inbound.
Subject 65 Golf London, hello, route direct Bazooks, it's the Bazooks 1 Golf arrival.
Route direct Bazooks, Bazook 1 Golf arrival. The Tom Jet 65 Golf. Under control, Tom Jet 11 X-ray, final 400.
Tom Jet 11 X-ray London, squawk 3443.
You got good idea, Reed. Oh, sorry, 3443, Tom Jet 11 X-ray.
Subject 65 Golf descend flight level 130 level tail 2.
Descend flight level 130 level by tail 2, Tom Jet 65 Golf.
Subject 11 X-ray, it's the Grove 1 Bravo arrival, report ready for descent.
Okay, Grove 1 Bravo arrival, will report ready for descent, Tom Jet 11 X-ray, thank you.
Code Black 42591, this is Unicom 122.8, good evening.
122.8, so good evening.
Subject 65 Golf recycle London, squawk 0310.
0310, Tomjet 6 Golf.
Very good. In London Central, Ryanair 7 Whiskey with you. Flight level 360 inbound red 2.
Ryanair 79 Whiskey London, hello, fly heading 035.
Heading 035, Ryanair 7 Whiskey.
And 79 Whiskey, it is actually 79 Whiskey, just continue 035 for the moment.
Continue 035, 7 Whiskey.
Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet, descent flight level 100.
Flight level 100, Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet.
EG47 Alpha Hotel London, hello, turn left heading 015, it's the Basix 1 Golf arrival. Ryanair 79 Whiskey, Ryanair 79 Whiskey, redirect Tel 2, Tel 21 Lima arrival.
Redirect Tel 2, Tel 1 Lima arrival, Ryanair 79 Whiskey.
Good evening, Tomjet 1 Lima Papa with you, level 360.
Tomjet 1 Lima Papa London, hello, recycle your transponder, squawk 0333, Grove 1 Charlie.
Hey, reset squawk 0333 and the Grove 1 Charlie, Tomjet 1 Lima Papa.
Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet, turn right heading 265.
Right, heading 265, Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet.
Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet, contact Gabba direct to 126.825, bye bye.
126.5, Tomjet 5 Bravo Juliet, next one.
London Central, good evening, here EG75 Golf Zulu with you, passing 6,000 feet and maintain heading 260.
EG75 Golf Studio London, hello, squawk islands, climb flight level 100.
Continue climb flight level 100, EG75 Golf Zulu.
Ryanair 79 Whiskey, report ready for descent, expect flight level 190, level Tel 2.
Ryanair 79 Whiskey, expecting descent in 16 miles and 190 by Tel 2, 79 Whiskey.
EG75 Golf City, you've missed your turn, route direct to Benbow.
EG75 Golf Zulu, again please, direct 3 point.
Direct Benbow.
Direct football, EG75 Golf Zulu.
Control, good evening, Yankee 710 Hotel with you, flight for 310. Can we get a diversion road on fuel?
You said my Delta Hotel, where do you want a diversion to?
Yeah, possible, can we get Manchester?
71 Delta Hotel. Yeah, I can sort you that diversion out. Why?
We'll give you on fuel.
EG7 5 Golf to do climb flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, EG75 Golf. Control, don't jump on 183, we can back this in.
2 stations.
London Control, evening, EZ56 Extra Mike, Flight 350 Mount Cathcart.
EG56 X-ray Mike London, hello, Willow 3 Bravo arrival, when ready D7 flight level 330 initially.
Willow 3 Bravo, when ready to send 33, EZ56 Extra Mike.
EG7 1 Delta Hotel, it's probably Manchester.
And Contact 113, we can check this out now when we're ready.
EG7 1 Delta Hotel, are you able to continue just into Gatwick?
Possibly not for EG7 Delta Hotel. We're going to need something closer next to the minimum or something.
Okay, I'm not too sure what he's doing. Break, EG47 Alpha Hotel, navigation direct Vasix, descent 130 level 10. Sorry, EG47 Alpha Hotel, resume navigation direct Vasix, descent 130 level 2.
Good evening, Spinner, Victor 3004.
Whiskey 7 Bravo standby, break, EG7 1 Delta Hotel. It's going to be landing into Gatwick, landing 26 left, speed 280 knots or greater, descend flight level 130 level Kidley.
Flight level 130, 180, pressing 280 knots or less, before we can do EG7 Delta Hotel.
EG56 X-ray Mike, speed 270 knots or less.
27 knots or less, EZ56 Extra Mike.
My name's Man Whiskey, I did ask you to call, reporting ready for descent 190 now though.
My apologies, 187 Whiskey descending 190.
Tomjet 65 Golf, descent 80, expedites.
75 away 0 and expedite, Tomjet 65. London Control, Boeing 7821 with you, level up at 7,000.
Volume 7821, maintain flight level 70.
701721.
Tomjet 65 Golf, contact Gatwick Director 126.825, bye bye.
126.825, bye bye, Tomjet 65.
Shuttle 2 Lima, sorry about the delay, full climb flight level 180. Shuttle 2 Lima, school cadets, climb flight level 180. Hello? EG56 X-ray Mike, descent flight level 130, level Kidley.
Descent flight level 130 level Kidley, EZ56 Extra Mike.
Shuttle 2 Lima, 180, school cadets.
Lima, flight level 180 for Shuttle 2 Lima.
EG47 Alpha Hotel, just confirm your direct to Vasix. Thanks. Tomjet 1 Lima, Papa Grove 1 Charlie, report ready for descent.
Well, 1 Charlie, rifle and welcome, Tomjet 1 Lima, Papa.
EG7 5 Golf Zulu, monitor Unicom 122.8, bye bye.
122.8, think I read today.
820 Unicom 1228, bye bye.
Roger, Unicom 122.8, good evening, Stupid 820. London Control, good evening, EZ81 Charlie November, flight level 380.
EG81 Charlie November London, hello, Opnet 1 Golf arrival, when ready descend flight level 280.
When ready, descend flight level 280, Opnet 1 Golf arrival, EG81 Charlie November.
Whiskey 7 Bravo, partial message.
Yeah, go ahead for Whiskey 7 Bravo.
Yeah, Whiskey 7 Bravo, what was you calling for?
That was not me that called in. I'm not sure what happened there, Whiskey 7 Bravo.
Okay, problem, sorry, my mistake. Break, well in 8, correction, well in 7821, climb flight level 120.
120, 1021.
All right, guys, I see our airfield.
EG8, well, we should be flying around physics now.
With the winds at 300.
188.
The plan is to
Correction,
fly
EG89 Bravo, Whiskey London, hello,
left-hand
Dane 2 Alpha.
traffic pattern here into runway 24. So we'll start our turn
Thank
here
you all, 5, 9,
and
dollars.
see if we can get it on the ground.
Speaker 283, the public, overhead.
Super 28 Juliet Papa London, hello, Squawk heading to climb flight level 100.
Okay, then, flying flight level 100,
Well in 7821, climb flight level 350.
350, Boeing 7821.
1079 Whiskey landing 22 standard.
Landing 22 standard, running 7.
On hello now, trying to just over 4,000.
Moltrans 2670 London, hello, Squawk heading to maintain 4000 on reaching.
I don't think any more. I'll try to do.
Hello, very good evening. Speaker 31 Bengal descending through flight level 325 for flight level 130 level 5 Delta, Wasuk 1 Golf arrival.
Super 31 Tango London, Vazix 1 Golf descend flight level 290 initially.
Initially flight level 290, speaker 31 Bengal, thank you.
Moltrans 2670, climb to altitude 6,000 feet.
6,000 feet, Moltrans 2670.
Super 28 Juliet Papa, climb flight level 180.
Flight level 180.
EGA1 Charlie November, EGA1 flight level 200.
Descend flight level 200, EG81 Charlie November.
Moltrans 2670, climb flight level 100.
Level 100, Moltrans 2670.
Jet 1 Papa Break descent.
Subject 1 Lima Papa descend flight level 290.
Descend flight level 290, Subject 1 Lima Papa.
William 7821 Unicorn 1228. Bye bye.
48248, goodbye.
Right, 79 Whiskey descend flight level 150.
Flight level 150, run S79.
Civic 31 Tango descend flight level 200.
Descend flight level 200, speedbird, direction 31 Tango.
Civic 31 Tango route direct L2 now.
Sorry. L2, speedbird 31 Tango, thank you.
Good evening. Gas speedbird 26 move rapidly.
Civic 26 to Bravo London School Guidance climb flight level 90.
Squawk Island,
Easy 47 Alpha Hotel descend flight level 80. Civic 31 Tango route direct Holly now, speed 270 knots or greater.
Direct Holly, speed 270, not so great, speedbird 31 Tango.
ETA 1 Charlie November 260 knots or less.
260 knots or less, EGA 1 Charlie November.
Non-trans 2670, climb flight level 150.
150, trans 260.
ED47 Alpha Hotel, contact Gamma Director 126.825, bye bye. Shuttle 3 Lima, disregard.
Control, good evening, Speedbird 417, flight level 240.
Station Color wants the call sign. Give a 31 Tango descend flight level 110.
Descend flight level 110, speedbird 31 Tango.
Subject 1 Lima Papa descend flight level 220.
Is that descending 220, Subject 1 Lima Papa?
Hey, sir.
My name is Control, good evening, Speedbird 417, flight level 240.
Pivot 417 London, hello Logan 1 Hotel arrival.
London 1 Hotel arrival, Speedbird 41.
Shuttle 2 Lima Unicorn 1228, bye bye.
Over there, 22.8 for Shuttle 2 Lima, good day.
London Center, EZ8208, descending to left flight level 140.
Station Color wants the call sign.
EZ8208.
ETA208, standby, break, Pivot 2H Juliet Papa, climb flight level 350.
Flying flight level 350, speedbird 32.
ETA208 London, hello Tebra. ETA208 Tebra 1 Golf descend for 200. Contract 2670, climb flight level 350.
350, not trust 2670.
Easy 81 Charlie November, descend flight level 150.
Descend flight level 150, easy 81 Charlie November.
Running 79 Whiskey, descend flight level 120.
120, 79 Whiskey.
London Center, Victor Foxtrot 393 with you at 150.
Victor Foxtrot 393 London, hello, climb flight level 150.
Easy to...
Climbing flight level 150.
Okay, no more than one station at once, please.
London Easy 44 Papa Quebec.
EG44 Papa Quebec, London, hello, Squawk 1245 Basix 1 Golf.
Talking 1245 Basix 1 Golf, Easy 44 Papa Quebec, thank you.
And EG44 Papa Quebec, there may be a delay at Basix, the delay may be 5 to 10 minutes.
Roger that, delays of 5 minutes for Easy 44 Papa Quebec, thank you.
Just expect the delay, there may be holding at L2, just to let you.
Alright, thank you.
Shuttle 13 lever descend to altitude 4 fast feet. Seabed 417 when ready descend flight for 160 level stable.
Descend level 160 when ready, Speedbird 417.
On control, EGSU, Whiskey Delta, descend flight level 250.
Subject 3 Whiskey Delta standby, Speedbird 31 Tango descend 80 level Holly.
80 level by Holly, Speedbird 31 Tango.
On trans 2670 route direct crew.
Right, no, okay, on trans.
Speedbird 264 Bravo climb 350.
That's my level 350, Speedbird 264 Bravo.
EG7 1 Delta Hotel descend flight level 100. EG7 1 Delta Hotel 250 knots descend flight level 100.
250 down, 54120 for Easy 71 Delta Hotel.
Okay, folks, that was a great flight. I appreciate anyone who tuned in either to the live stream or to this uploaded video. We have one more leg to make. It's on the 5th of June. It's from this airfield over to France, to Cairn-Carpiquet. We're going to cross the English Channel, and I'm going to set the flight time for 0000 Zulu, 0 hour. So if you can make it, spawn here a little before that. We'll take off and fly down the coast. We'll check out the Ivory Cliffs and all that good stuff, and then we'll shoot across the English Channel. Love to have as many people as want to come. So until next time, take care. God bless.